Hedge funds appeared to focus on individual stock opportunities, with single stocks seeing the most significant net buying in 5 months, primarily driven by long buys and short covers. Hedge funds are covering their short positions as the market rallies, which is something that we just talked about over the weekend. But since we're talking about short sellers are shifting over to energy stocks. They're not just stopping shorting as a whole, they're shorting energy stocks like EQT, APA, VLO, Oxy, DVN, so on and so forth. Now we're going to talk about AMC and GameStop, and the first thing that comes to my head is, wow, GameStop's options chain has an insane opportunity here, and we're going to talk about it. Real quick, I'm going to ask you, it's free to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn post notifications on, and make sure to watch until the end. And obviously, if you guys drop a comment down below, I'm going to try to respond to you. Without further ado, let's get into it. GameStop has over 300,000 calls expiring this Friday, with 42,000 in the money and only 13,000 puts in the money. So we are winning on the options chain, and all of this premium that can potentially come in the money and trigger a massive gamma squeeze. And we're going to talk about if that can happen based on what the charts are looking like in a second. I also wanted to point out that GameStop had an analyst rating bump up from 2 to about 6.4 out of 10. Take this with a grain of salt. Obviously, everyone's rating is a little bit different, but we are seeing more and more people turn bullish on GameStop, as well as institutions buy more. Now, I also want to say one thing that is very bothersome for AMC holders. AMC barely moves, and it's very aggravating for myself and for you as an investor. And the reason for this is because of how high off exchange volume is every single day. 63% off exchange, you saw it last, and then you saw it 70%, 65%, so on and so forth. Every single day, it is above more than half for off exchange volume. This means there's barely any volume that is on lit exchanges, and this could just be mostly sell volume, right? The same people shorting this are also the same people controlling where these orders go, which is very unfair. What can happen here? Well, the SEC can step up, but that's an empty promise right there. They can stop dark pools. They can suspend dark pools for 10 trading days if they suspect any activity, but they decide to ignore retail investors. What we have next is AMC's options chain. 4,000 calls compared to 7,000 puts expiring in the money, and then 53,000 call contracts expiring out of the money this week as well. So there is a possible potential for a little bit of gamma ramping here on AMC. Leading us into the charts, I'm going to show you where we're at. $4.20, which is a crucial level, but mainly you want to close above $4.35 to invalidate a very scary move that we see on the charts. Here is the drawings that we are tracking right now on AMC, and it's playing out perfectly to a T with an inverse cycle. Unfortunately, where are we in this inverse cycle? We are right here. Okay, you can see we got this sell-off, right? This sell-off right here, and then this bump up. This part right here is the same part of the cycle as AMC is right here. So what happens? Well, if AMC decides that it wants to close above anything significant of about $4.30 or $4.35, then that entire downside move is likely invalidated, and that is what we essentially want to see. However, if we don't see that, then you're likely to see a flush on AMC, a very hard flush that is likely driven by some sort of catalyst that randomly comes out. That is where we are on the charts. However, based on the market, GameStop, everything else, you're likely to see a pop here, and you're likely to see AMC actually play out the regular cycle instead of going inverse on this flush down, especially how hard it's already been held down. It's technically trading at 42 cents a share. So hopefully we see, the cycle play out normally at this setup instead of continuing to play out inverse, but this is where we sit right now on the charts. GameStop, however, up 1.92%, trading at 21.23, is looking very good. This is what we have on GameStop's chart, and it is playing out as of right now. If we decide to play out exactly here, well, they're probably going to flush the stock on Friday back to about $20.65 in order to avoid all of these contracts from expiring in the money. So you have to keep that in mind as well. And this would also play out like this little curve throughout the week and then flush on Friday. But the following week, you get that move up out of this flag up to around 25 at least or so. So that's something that we're watching here with GameStop. As always, this could just continue to go up, and if it does and it doesn't play out this little flush before Friday, then you're watching $22.40. Okay, these are the levels that we're watching. Now, another thing to note, Citadel scandal is trending on Twitter, so we always like to see it, right? Ken Griffin lied under oath, Citadel scandal, MOAS. I've been seeing these things trend recently on Twitter, so you know retail investors, diamond-handed apes, are still active. Now, war is happening still continuously. China invading Taiwan, Israel still letting off bombs, but the market does not care. The US markets do not give a damn. 583.28, up 0.64% on the day. The SPY is just continuing to rip heads off, and at this point I see almost a clear shot to 596.85, which is a lot of room on the SPY. And when do I think it's going to happen? I think it's going to happen before November. I think you're going to see all of this green happen, and then election time, you are going to get that correction to probably pull us back to this trend line, or even lower, right down at most to 573.62. Right now, this consolidation that you saw back here is now going to be our correction level, which means wherever we come up to, this is likely going to be the correction level that we stop at, or 565.75, right? Either way, we have built a new base for ourselves, a new support platform that is very trustworthy on the SPY, allowing us for much more room for upside, which is good for our short squeeze plays, which is also good for the crypto market. We're going to talk about that in 1 second. To show you really quick, this is the US economic data this week that will also affect the market. Obviously, today's Columbus Day, and then tomorrow you have New York Fed Manufacturing Index, and then Thursday, jobless claims, retail sales, Philly Fed Manufacturing Index, and industrial production, and then Friday, building permits and housing starts. Moving on to Bitcoin, that is it. I said this could potentially be a last buying opportunity at 60K for Bitcoin, and I think it just happened. We have yet to see this strong of a candle pushing the top of the trend on Bitcoin, and that is exactly what you're seeing right now. This is a beautiful candle, and I would watch for not only a close above 66,500, I'm watching for tomorrow's candle base to blow past this with strength right up to 69K on Bitcoin. I'm watching for a push of strength up to 69K, and I think that's going to happen. My outlook right now is that Bitcoin gets up to all-time highs in this rally right here. It is holding extremely strong. I want to talk about a couple other plays and show you the earnings for the week, but really quick, I want to let you know, if you haven't known yet, we are starting a second channel where I'm going to be dropping vlogs and podcasts and some other things like behind the scenes and whatever else in my life. So if that's something that you're interested in, guys, go subscribe. It's under the video, probably the third or fourth link, so you guys can go subscribe there. Okay, Nvidia 137.70, up 2% on the day, pressed up against resistance at 135 and broke above right now. Next level I had at the chart was about 141 or so, and I still think we are going to hit that on Nvidia. But if Nvidia gets rejected here, you could have a potential double top on the charts. If we break above 141, I'm watching 150.45, so on and so forth, and then that'll bring us to 171, yada yada yada. Overall, Nvidia is looking very good. Tesla actually holding a support trend line that it built out with 2 touch points, and now the third touch point right here. This could be buying opportunity for Tesla. However, any negative catalyst or uncertain catalyst is going to build an entire candle below this, and I would really say that Tesla needs to hold 204. If we don't hold 204, this thing's going to bleed for quite a while and play out that sort of, we had that flag scenario drawn out right here. Let me show you guys, and play out the rest of this huge flag, which is a very high possibility that this could happen if Tesla does not hold here. So we're just going to keep an eye on it, and that could bring us all the way down to around 170. Last but not least, here are the earnings for the week. Make sure to screenshot this if you like. We have a lot of bank earnings coming out, which will essentially affect the S&P 500, but we know that these numbers are probably going to be inflated to save their butts. So that is it, guys. That is what I got for you for today's video. Hopefully you enjoyed watching or found value out of the video. If you haven't seen the video I uploaded yesterday stating God is real, make sure to go watch that. Hopefully it changes your perspective on some things. There's some links in the description where you can get up to 15 free stocks and earn 8.1% APY on your uninvested cash. All you have to do is open a Moomoo account. It's a free broker that keeps your money insured, and deposit into your account through my link. It's hooking me up and it's hooking you up with free stocks and safe APY that you can't earn anywhere else that high that I have noticed at least. And you're getting level 2 order book data for free access to trading options, going long, going short, viewing other exchanges, and more as a retail trader, which is pretty insane. Again, use the link, open an account, and make a deposit. It takes 2 minutes or less. Also, pattern detection and forecasting is here, which you can add to your TradingView charts for free for 2 weeks. You see this Get Access button. Once you press my indicator in the description and press Get Access, you can get it for 2 weeks for absolutely nothing, and then cancel it if you don't like it, but I doubt you'll end up canceling. It detects patterns, gives you price targets, and forecasts what the stock exactly might do, and you can mess with the time frames. I love you all. Lottery Stocks out.